Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today. For practice, if you want to grab a bolster or if you have one or a pillow, you may or may not need it. Also, if you wanted to grab some blankets, feel free to do that if you need some cushioning under your knees. And then if you have some yoga blocks, you can grab those. And of course, if you don't have any of those things, perfectly fine too. They're just options. And if you don't have exactly those things, that's okay. You can always find things around the house that will work too. So we have a nice little playful practice today that some of these moves are probably going to be familiar to you if you've practiced yoga for a long time or even for a short time. I invite you to find something new today in practice and to really approach it with kind of a playful beginner's mind as we go through practice. So let's go ahead and start out on our backs today. So go ahead and come to a flat back, feet on the floor. You can keep your feet hips width apart if you'd like, and here comes a Fritz. And we're going to start here. You can close your eyes if it feels good in your body today. Make sure there's no dogs in your face. Relax and just focus on your breath. You can keep your hands down at your sides, palms facing up or down. You can even have the pinky side of your hands on your mat. And just breathe. So we're just preparing for our practice today, getting grounded and centered. And now we're going to do a little breathing exercise. So we're going to do some extended breathing. So we'll inhale on a count of 4 through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. So go ahead and take one more breath on your own. So normal breath. And then on the exhale, let it all go. And then we'll get started. So we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do one more round. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and return back to your normal breath. Just take a couple more breaths to center. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes back to your surroundings if you have them closed. And we're going to go ahead and lift our feet up off the mat. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. You can keep your hands on your knees, or if you'd like to wrap your hands around your shins, you can. Again, do whatever feels right in your body today. And breathe. Just stretching out our back a little bit. After your next exhale, go ahead and return your feet down to the mat. And this time we're gonna pick our hips up, or actually, yeah, pick your hip up over to the right, or just shift your hips over to the right. Go ahead and extend the left leg out along the mat, and then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, go ahead and cross that right knee over. And you can keep your foot rested on your bottom, your left leg if you'd like. And then you can stretch your right hand out straight, same with your left arm, or I like to leave my left hand on my knee. I'm not pushing it at all, so don't push. I like to just rest it for some extra weight. And just kind of feel that nice twist through the lower back. And breathe. You feel a nice opening through the chest and that twist in the back. And only go as far as you feel comfortable going. So it doesn't have to be all the way over. You may be here. You can bring a bolster underneath your knee to rest your leg and shin on if you'd like. You can bring it up closer to you if that feels good. We'll take one more breath here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and return both feet to the mat, and then bring your hips back to center. Take a couple breaths here, compare both sides, see how you feel. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and shift our hips. We'll pick them up and shift them over to the left. Go ahead and extend through the right leg. And then we'll bring our left knee into our chest. Nice big inhale, and on an exhale, bring that knee across the midline and twist. And you can, again, bring your arm out. You can look over towards that left side. Again, you should feel a nice opening through the chest and a nice twist in the back. And breathe. I have some playfulness going on here right now. We'll take one more breath. When you're ready, return to center, placing both feet on the mat, and then shift your hips back to center. Again, we'll just take another couple breaths here. Alright, so now go ahead and lift your leg all the way up, or your right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Then bend at your knee and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, go ahead and bend that left knee in towards your chest. Now this may feel good for you here, and you can bring your arms around the back of your thigh, and that's perfectly fine. Or you can grab your hands around your shin to bring that knee in. So kind of into a figure 4 stretch or a reclined pigeon pose. And breathe. Make sure to keep your feet active. So kind of like you're pushing into 2 opposing walls with your feet. And breathe. And you can bring your knee closer to your chest or further away depending on how much of a stretch feels good in your body. So don't really crank and pull it thinking you have to have it all the way in. Just really go to where it feels good to you. You want this to feel nice in your outer hip and in your hamstrings. Ah! Puppy kisses. One more breath. And then go ahead and set that left foot back on the mat. You can uncross your right foot and then just again compare both of your sides and breathe. I'm gonna try and breathe. Oh, he's trying to eat my earrings. No. All right, and then when you're ready, go ahead and extend your left foot up towards the ceiling. And then we'll bend at the knee and cross that left ankle over our right knee. Nice big inhale, and on an exhale, lift that right leg up off the floor, bend the knee in towards the chest, and then you can either bring your hands around the back of your thigh or your shin. Again, just go to what feels comfortable and what feels good in your body today. Remember to keep your feet nice and bright, nice and engaged, and remember to breathe. Then you should be feeling a nice stretch through this outer hamstring here, your outer thigh. Ready, go ahead and uncross your feet, your legs. Go ahead and place your feet back on the floor. Take a couple of breaths here again. And when you're ready, we're going to transition into a seat. So you can either roll to one side and push yourself up into a seat, or if you want to have a little fun and be a little playful about it, go ahead and grab the backs of your thighs and then start to kind of rock and roll up the length of your spine. You can do this a couple times. Bring a little bit of playfulness into our practice today. Kind of also feels good on my back. I don't know about you. And once you've had enough, go ahead and rock all the way up to a seat. Spin around on my mat so I'm facing everyone again. All right, so come to just a comfortable seat. Again, in your seat, if you'd like, you can take a blanket if you have one, and you can build it up and you can bring it to sit on, and that'll bring your hips up a little bit more in line with your knees. All right, again, nice and comfy. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and put our right hand on the floor. We're going to lift our left arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretch nice and big, and on an exhale, cross through the midline, so a nice side stretch. You can either look down at your right hand or you can look up towards the ceiling at your right palm. Make sure to not collapse through the chest though, so keep your chest nice and tall, Remember to breathe. You should feel a nice stretch through this left side. On your next exhale, go ahead and release that left hand back down and return to center. Take a couple breaths here, just again to compare your two sides. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and place our left hand on our mat. Lift your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale, and on an exhale, cross that midline, feeling that nice stretch in your right side body. And breathe. You should feel your lungs really expanding and opening through that right side. Inhale, lift up, and on an exhale, return your hands back down. You can kind of shake it out, make any adjustments you need to your clothing. We'll take a couple breaths here. All right, so now we're going to transition on into our tabletop position. So you can come forward. We're going to come onto hands and knees here. If you'd like a little padding under your knees, you can leave your blanket or towel or whatever you have there. You bring that right under your knees. Make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your knees can be hip width distance apart. And we're going to warm up the spine just a little bit more doing some cat-cows. I almost always do a cat-cow in my practice. So on an inhale, we'll drop the lower ribs. We'll lift the tail. We'll lift the chest and head. Look forward. Cow pose. Exhale, round through the spine. Drop the head. Drop the tail. Cat pose. Feel a nice stretch in the back. Inhale, drop the lower ribs, lift the tail, lift your chest and head. Exhale, drop the head, drop the tail, lift up through your upper ribs and back and spine. We'll go ahead and do a few more and do them on your own breath, so on your own inhales and exhales. And I know I do this pose pretty much every practice to warm up, but if in the pose you don't have to go right, make it really your own practice. So if it feels good to you to be in cat pose for a breath or two, stay there and do that. That's perfectly fine. Make it your practice. Find something new in the old. So you may feel a different sensation, or you may notice a different feeling or a different stretch or maybe a different muscle that it's targeting. Stick with that, explore it, play with it. After your next exhale, go ahead and return back to a neutral spine. And I'm going to remove my blanket. Get that out of the way. Alright, so once you're back in your neutral spine, walk your handprints, just one handprint in front of where it was. I'll wait till he gets out of my way. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. Look forward. On an inhale, lift. Well, take a nice big inhale. And on your exhale, just lift the knees off the floor and then lift your hips up, back, and down. Downward facing dog. Really push into the mat with your hands. You're pushing out of the earth and you're coming up and back. Your heels do not have to touch the floor. You should have a nice straight spine. And breathe. Your next inhale, look forward at your hands, and then we're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can hop, you can float, you can take a couple big steps, you can take a bunch of little baby steps. Whatever feels good in your body. Play with it, see what feels good. And then this is where you can use your blocks if you would like to bring the floor up to you. So we're going to come into a forward fold. So you can either have your blocks at a lower level, you can bring them up a little bit higher. You want to really keep that integrity in your back and make sure you're not rounding through and collapsing. So again, whatever feels good to you today. So on an inhale, come up halfway, nice flat back. Make sure you have a little bit of a bend in your knees and you're not walking out. You feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold. And again, if using blocks feels comfortable to you, use those. Your next inhale, go ahead and roll slowly up all the way standing. Loop your shoulders up, back and down, and we're going to come into our mountain pose. So really ground in through the feet. Lift the chest a little forward. Arms down at your side. And just take a few breaths here. Really ground into the earth. You can also adjust your clothes if you need to at all. If anything got moved around. Your next inhale, go ahead and bring your arms up towards the ceiling and just pause and breathe. We're coming into a nice big volcano pose, feeling a stretch through the side body. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower the arms down. Hinge at your hips. We're going to lower back down into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, nice flat back, keep a bend in your knees. Exhale, forward fold. All right, from here, you can step one foot back and then the other foot back, and we're going to come into a plank. So push through the heels, make sure you're nice and straight through your back. Push up away from the ground, but make sure you're not rounding through your back. Keep it nice and straight. Breathe. One more inhale. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the ground. Now you can put your knees down first if you'd like, and then lower down, or you can lower down in one straight line. Go ahead and untuck your toes under. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, forehead, or bring your nose to look straight down at your mat. And on an inhale, lift your gaze up, lift your head up. And we're going to come into a little baby cobra to start. And breathe. So just waking up that upper back, warming it up a little bit. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower back down. Tuck your toes under. On your next inhale, go ahead and push yourself back up to a plank. And on an exhale, shift your hips up, back, and down, coming into a downward dog. I'm going to walk myself forward a little bit here. And breathe. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift your right right foot up towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to come all the way up, so keep your toes pointed down towards the mat. And on an exhale, bend at the knee, bring it in towards your chest, and then step your foot in between both hands. Now you're going to hop that left foot in a little bit, and then turn your toes in at kind of a 45-degree angle. Bend through your right knee, so it should be at a nice 90-degree angle here. And when you're ready, lift with your torso and come up to standing. And we're going to shift our hips up towards the mat. So we're going to come into a warrior two. So adjust your feet as needed. Make sure that you're not on a tightrope. Your feet should be on two parallel train tracks. Front leg, so my right leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. Push that knee back towards your little toe. So you should be able to see your big toe. And when you're ready, your hands can be at your hips, or you can bring your fingertips stretched out. Your fingertips are stretched out. Push your pinkies back towards the back edge of the wall. It's going to open up your chest. Bring your shoulder blades together. And breathe. Make sure you're not coming too far forward or back. Keep nice and centered. And if you'd like, you can look out over your right fingertips. A strong warrior pose. You're ready. Flip the right palm so it's facing the ceiling. And then on an inhale, lower your left fingertips towards the floor. Bring your right hand up towards the ceiling and look up towards your right hand. We're coming into a humble warrior. Keep that bend in your right knee. Breathe. And you should be feeling a nice stretch in that right side body. On an exhale, return back to your warrior two. Then on your next inhale, go ahead and stretch, reach all the way out towards the right, like you're grabbing something off the shelf, but your feet are in cement. Then when you're ready, you can bring your right arm to your right knee, left hand to your waist, and then spin your chest up towards the ceiling, look up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into a modified extended side angle. If it's in your practice, you can bring your arm down to the floor. Or if you're not there yet, this is another good opportunity where you can use the block. The main thing that, make sure that you're not collapsing through the chest and your chest isn't hinging towards the floor. You want it up towards the ceiling. Feel kind of a nice twist in through your chest. So again, go to wherever it feels comfortable to you. You can lift your left arm up towards the ceiling, or you can bring that left arm, if it feels good to you and it's not compromising the pose, you can bring that left arm up towards your ear. So you have options. Play with them, see what feels right in your body today, and go with it. And don't beat yourself up if you were able to do a pose last week and maybe this week it doesn't feel good in your body. Our bodies change from day to day and your flexibility will vary. So just play with it. See what feels good in your body and then honor that. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, remove my block. Go ahead and frame your front leg with your arms, with your hands. Pivot on that back foot, and you may have to adjust, so we're going to come into a low lunge. Lift your chest up. You should feel a nice stretch through the front of your left thigh. And then you can kind of rock front and back on that foot. When you're ready, step your left foot up to meet your right foot. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, lower down, forward fold. You can keep as much or as little bend in the knees as you want. Again, listen to your body and really honor what it's asking you for today. You're ready? Go ahead and roll all the way back up. You can roll really slowly if you'd like. Loop your shoulders up, back and down. Get really grounded through your feet. Lift up through the chest. Hands at your side. Mountain pose. And just breathe. All right, so we did our right side. We have to do all of that on our left side, so that way we are nice and even. So on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your arms up towards the ceiling, and then keep them reaching there, so our volcano pose. And breathe. On your next exhale, lower through the arms, hinge your hips back. We're gonna lower back down into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, hands on shins. Exhale, lower back down. We'll take just a couple breaths here. Your next inhale, look forward, and then we're gonna step one leg back, and then the other, coming into a plank pose. Really push through the heels, keep them active. Nice straight line through your torso. Look down, breathe. If you feel a shake, that's okay. Your next exhale, go ahead and lower all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your head and neck, look forward, coming into a baby cobra. Or if you'd like, you can push through the hands, straighten through the elbows, and come up into a full cobra. And breathe. If your shoulders are coming up towards your ears, lower them back down. And if you're getting too much crunch in your lower back, lower down a little bit in that cobra. You don't have to be all the way up. Right, on your next exhale, go ahead and lower back towards the floor, forehead to the floor. Tuck your toes. Inhale, push yourself up into a plank. Exhale, lift the hips up, back, and down, downward facing dog. And breathe. While you're here, if you want to walk your dog by bending one leg and then the other, you can. Or if you want to keep straight, you can too. All right, I am actually going to turn my dog around. So that way I'll be facing you guys. My back won't be towards you. All right, so on an inhale, go ahead and lift your left foot up again. It doesn't have to come all the way up. Keep your toes pointed in towards the ground. Exhale, bend through the knee, shift forward, bring the knee in towards the chest, and then step the foot in between your hands. All right, get a nice bend in your left knee, and then we're hop your right leg in a little bit. Keep it at a 45-degree angle. We're going to come into that warrior two on this side. Take a big inhale, and on an exhale, use your abs and rise up through your torso. All right. We're going to come into our warrior two again. Make any adjustments that you need. So again, left knee should be bent at a 90-degree angle. Push that knee out towards your pinky toe side. Hips should be towards the long edge of your mat. So your hip points should be facing towards that long edge of your mat. Right leg, foot should be at a 45-degree angle. And again, make sure you're not on a tightrope. That will help with balance too. Hands can be at your waist. Or if you'd like, you can extend your arms out to either side. press back in through your pinkies, bringing your shoulder blades together. And if you'd like, you can look over that right hand and breathe. And make sure you're not drifting forward or back just yet. Go ahead and turn the palm of your left hand so it's facing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift that left arm up and back. Right arm's going to come down by your right leg. And breathe, humble warrior. Next exhale, go ahead and release that. Come back to your warrior two. And then when you're ready, go ahead and reach all the way forward towards the left. And then you can either bring your left elbow to your left knee, right arm to your right hip. Make sure to spin your chest up so you're looking up towards the ceiling. An extended side angle. Again, if it's in your practice, you can bring your palm to a block or to the floor. You can lift your right arm up towards the ceiling, or you can bring it up overhead. Just make sure that you're not losing that lift in your chest. Right, when you're ready, go ahead and spin your torso towards the short edge of your mat. Take both your hands, frame your left foot, and then pivot on that right foot, coming into a nice low lunge. Look forward, keep your chest nice and lifted. You can rock forward and back on that right foot. And when you're ready, play and hop yourself up to your forward fold again. Come up halfway, nice flat back. Exhale, lower down into that nice forward fold and breathe. Your next inhale or exhale, go ahead and roll up. We're going to come to a standing position, coming back into that mountain pose. Make sure your feet are nice and grounded into the floor. Fix your clothing, fix your hair, shake it out. And you can even walk your feet a little bit. So you have not seen her yet. She has not been on video, but I do have a cat. Her name is Chai, and I don't know if you've seen cats, but they like to make biscuits, or that's what I call it when they come and they sit on you and they paw you and they claw your belly. You're like, oh, don't claw my belly. So imagine that you're a cat. So really spread your toes, lift your knees up, kind of play with it. We're going to pretend we're a cat for a minute. Really gripping that floor with your toes and feeling that. And then once you've had enough, go ahead and bring that to stillness. Whip your shoulders up, back and down. Kind of shake it out. And breathe. You can close your eyes if it feels comfortable to you, or you can leave them open. Standing up nice and straight and tall. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. If you are not on the facing the long edge of your mat like I am, go ahead and turn towards it. If you have room, we're going to get into a balancing posture. So we're going to have some fun and play with this. Playfulness is our theme for today. So we're going to go into a tree pose. If you have a wall or something to grab onto, make sure you have that nearby if you have any difficulty balancing. But try it out first, play with it. If you fall out of the pose, that's okay. Don't don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Don't take it so seriously. Just play with it. It is a practice. It's not supposed to be perfect. All right. So make sure your feet are nice and grounded. And then shift your weight to your right foot. Now when you do this, make sure that you're not dumping all your weight into that right side to where you are shifting your hip out and you're getting that kind of Beyonce hip out thing, or mom hip. So make sure to keep it still lifted and nice and grounded, but shift your weight over to that foot. And then from here, just lift your left knee up and down. So kind of play with it. So kind of like a one-legged Tadasana, one-legged mountain pose. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness. Butterfly that left knee out and bring your heel in to rest on the ankle of your right foot. Now for some, this is going to be enough. This is going to be plenty, and that is perfectly fine. Stay there. If you'd like a little bit more, you can bring the foot to the inside of the calf. For some, this is going to be plenty. Good tip for balancing, if you can find some point on the floor that you can focus on or right in front of you, find something that's not moving and focus on that point. And make sure to breathe. If you'd like to go to the full pose, go ahead and bring that foot to the inside of your right thigh. And then push. Make sure that your foot is pushing into your thigh, but also that your thigh is pressing into your foot. So you should have two opposing forces that are going to bring that energy up through the center of your body and through the earth and really work against each other to balance you. Now you can stay here with your arms. They can be hips. You can bring your palms up towards your chest in like a namaste. Or if you'd like, you can grow your branches and lift your hands up. Jazz hands, you can't see them because my camera's cutting it off. And breathe. If you're really advanced, you can close your eyes and look up. Smile, breathe, just a couple more breaths. And if you fall out of it, that's fine. Shake it off, try again. After your next exhale, let it all go. Shake it out, play, move that energy around. And then when you're ready, bring it back to stillness. All right. So now we're going to shift our weight to our left side. Now my left leg is still a little wonky. I injured it a couple weeks ago. I know my last video I said it was injured. I kind of had to modify a lot. I may have to on this left side. We'll see. Again, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm going to do what I feel I need to. If I can't go as far into the pose as I did on the right side, I'm not going to. Same could be true for you. I'm going to play. I'm going to see what feels good in my body today, and then I'm going to adjust accordingly. All right. Weight is in my left leg, foot, heel. Not shifting out. I'm really pulling in. We're going to lift and lower that right knee a couple times just to kind of get started and to play with it. And then I'm going to butterfly my right knee out, and I'm going to bring just my right foot to meet my left ankle. I'm going to stay here for just a breath and see how it feels. So far, so good. So I'm going to move, slide my foot up to my calf muscle. We'll see how that goes. Still all right. So let me try the full pose here. Let's see. Again, you can try the different hand gestures and see what feels right to you. Ah. surprised. This is the first balancing pose I've done since injuring it, so we'll see. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. And then lower after your next exhale. Again, shake it out if you'd like. And if you're watching me, you notice I kind of sway, tree sway. It's okay. And again, if you fell out, it's perfectly okay. You just keep working towards it. It's just repetition, getting comfortable with it, trying new things out, playing with it. This should really be a practice. I know we take all of this so seriously sometimes, and we beat ourselves up if we can't get into the pose or we can't do the full expression of the pose. But just let all of that go and just play with it. Just play. It's a practice. There's so much seriousness going on in the world right now. There's so much not fun happening, so much non-playfulness. And it's fun sometimes. It's nice to just be able to take a break and play, even if it's with yourself in your living room with your dogs that occasionally come and play with you too. When they're not sleeping, which they're sleeping, and I'm going to leave it that way. All right, let's bring it to stillness. Come back to our mountain pose one last time. Lift your shoulders up, back and down. Really ground through the feet. Lift the chest, lift the heart. Breathe. And close down the eyes if it feels comfortable for you too. I like to do that to really feel into my body more. Kind of shuts out all the sensory of the things around me. All right, if you're not already, let's go ahead and walk to the front of our mat. We're going to transition back to the floor. So if you're able to, lift up onto your tippy toes, start to bend through your knees, and start to lower down, lower down, lower down, lower down. Bring your hands to the floor, and then you can walk your hands back behind you and come to sit in a nice, comfortable seat. All right, so this next piece you're probably not going to like me for. Let me spin around here so that way we can try and move this a little bit. All right. I apologize in advance. We're going to work our abs a little bit. So again, play with this. Don't worry about coming into the full expression of the pose. If it doesn't feel good for you, play. See what feels good in your body. I'm going to give you options. Don't freak out. All right, so come to a seat. Let's go ahead and bend our knees. Place your feet on the floor. Back nice and straight. Chest lifted, looking forward. And then bring your hands, bring them behind your thighs. And just kind of lean back a little bit, looking forward. Now for some, you can stay here. This is perfectly fine. If you'd like a little more, you can lift up one knee, maybe the other, and you can still hold on. If you're starting to collapse around in the spine, lower back down. You want to keep that spine nice and straight. Take a breath here. You want to play some more. Let go of your thighs. Bring your hands up to the sides. Or if you'd like a little bit more, straighten through the legs. Breathe. If you're shaking, that's okay. That's the point. If at any time this feels too much, lower back down. Again, really listen to your body and do what feels right for you. Take a couple more breaths wherever you're at. And then lower back down, bringing your feet to the floor. All right, from here, butterfly your legs out. Bring your feet in together. So we're going to come into a cobbler's pose here. And from here, lower yourself down onto your mat. So we're going to come into a reclined cobbler's pose. You can pet your belly. That was some ab work there. So you can always pet your belly to kind of smooth that out through your hips. I'm going to open them up just a little bit. Breathe. And then when you're ready, go ahead and extend one foot out, and then the other. You can bring your feet as wide as the mat. You can bring your arms out to the sides, palm facing up, down, or your pinky finger towards the floor. Make any adjustments needed so that way you're comfortable. You can soften the eyes or close them if you feel comfortable. And if your arms don't feel good out, if you'd like your hands on your belly or a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, do that. Again, listen to your gut, listen to your body. Do what feels good for you. I'm just giving you options and kind of guiding you today, but I want you to play and just listen to what you need. This is our final pose, Shavasana corpse pose. So just feel the nutrients of your practice rushing through your body. We did a lot of different kind of fun, playful things today. Just stretch and open and relax the body and move some energy around. I'm going to go ahead and go silent for a moment, but you stay in Shavasana. I'll keep watch of the time, and I will come back to guide you out of it shortly. So the card I pulled for practice today was Sandpiper Spirit. So for anyone that's new, I always pull an oracle card. I'm using the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So I pull a card for practice. So today the card I pulled was Sandpiper Spirit, and the message is to be playful. It says, sandpipers are like cute little clowns, poking their beaks into the sand before darting off to chase the waves. The appearance of sandpiper spirit is a sign that now is a time to engage your playfulness. Whatever tasks you have before you, perform them with a lightness of being. Explore the familiar, discovering the new in the old. Who knows what treasures await you when you let yourself laugh and have fun? Sandpiper spirit's happy and curious nature can help you to feel rejuvenated as you remember your ability to run and fly and dance and even do yoga playfully. All right, so if you would like to stay in Shavasana, feel free to stay there for as long as feels good to you. If you need to go, then slowly start to deepen your breathing. Start to wake up through the fingers and toes so you can wiggle them. You can even bring your thumb to run across your fingertips to kind of wake them up again. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll to one side, come into a fetal position, and just stay there for a moment and breathe. When you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up into a comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they're not already open. Right. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. You can rub your hands to bring some. I always rub my hands. I never explain what I'm doing, but I'm always rubbing my hands. That just brings some energy back into my hands. So you can do that too, or you can just keep it still, whatever feels good. Thank you so much for spending your time and your energy and your practice with me. Um, Again, just make time to be playful. Don't forget to play. Things are really serious right now in the world, but let's play. Let's have fun. Let's come back to that a little bit and drop some of the seriousness sometimes. Thank you again. Namaste.